Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Today, we're diving into a source text that is, well, it's pretty wild. It literally left me speechless the first time I read it. We're looking at documents claiming to reveal what's actually hiding on the far side of the moon and how it directly ties into Earth's cosmic defense. We're talking secret lunar bases, extraterrestrial intervention, the whole shebang. It is a wildly fascinating ride through a very specific perspective, so let's just jump right in.
But before we head to the moon, let's start right here on Earth. Remember February 2013, the Chelyabinsk meteor explosion over Russia? We've all seen the dashcam footage, that blinding flash, the massive shockwave blowing out windows across the city. Now, the standard scientific consensus says it was just a natural space rock burning up in our atmosphere. But the source text we're unpacking today, it pitches a radically different, incredibly detailed alternative for exactly why that meteor exploded, when, and where it did.
To wrap our heads around this alternative explanation, we have to look at how the author claims to have gotten this information. No telescopes, no satellites. The text states this was all done through a spiritual technique called remote viewing. The author asserts that they essentially projected a piece of their consciousness, their spirit, about 370,000 kilometers through the void of space to get a first-hand look at the dark side of the moon. That is the core premise here, using human consciousness as an investigative tool to see what conventional science can't.
And here's what's really fascinating about the physical setting. This wasn't some solitary, hidden event. The source provides photographs from March 12, 2013 showing a highly documented, public recording of this remote viewing session at the Happy Science headquarters. You have the author seated in front of monitors, a panel of interviewers, and a live audience. The text uses this to ground the esoteric claim, basically treating the remote viewing as a live investigative broadcast.
Section 1. The investigation begins. Anomalies in the lunar craters. Let's leave Earth behind and head for the moon.
The remote viewing didn't just wander around aimlessly. It was highly targeted. The session zoomed straight in on the desolate, pockmarked geography of the moon's dark side, specifically focusing on two massive impact craters, Fermi, and right next to it, the basin-like Tsiolkovsky Crater. The interviewers and the author discussed the structure of this specific crater, using reference materials to guide that spiritual projection to these exact coordinates.
And right smack in the dead center of its Tsiolkovsky Crater, they spot an anomaly. Now, some traditional observers have called this an island or a central peak. But during the session, the author explicitly points this out as looking completely unnatural. It's not described as a random pile of rocks. The text claims it's something structural, something that immediately stood out as a highly unusual presence sitting in the middle of a barren lunar landscape.
Which brings us to a mind-bending description in the text. Upon closer psychic inspection, the author says this isn't a natural geological formation at all. It's described as a massive energy source loaded with mechanical elements. And get this, the text claims this facility possesses a will of its own. It hints at a highly advanced artificial intelligence or a conscious operational purpose, generating massive amounts of energy, potentially even mining lunar resources to power itself.
Section 2. A frontline base for Earth defense. So, what is this mechanical energy source actually for?
The source text makes a huge leap here. It claims this lunar facility is actually a forward operating base run by highly advanced extraterrestrials, and their main mission is Earth defense. Which brings us right back to our original question about that Russian meteor. Let's look at the timeline. February 15, 2013, just weeks before this public viewing session, a 17-meter meteor hurtles into our atmosphere. It's on a collision course, and then suddenly it explodes high over the Ural region, preventing what would have been a catastrophic, world-altering direct impact. To put this danger into perspective, we have to talk about the speed, Mach 50. The text heavily emphasizes this number to highlight the terrifying kinetic energy of this rock. At 50 times the speed of sound, a direct strike from a 17-meter meteor would absolutely devastate a populated area. The author argues that a solid rock moving at that insane velocity, just exploding naturally mid-air, is highly improbable, which sets the stage perfectly for their extraterrestrial explanation.
To back up this claim, the text points to visual evidence supposedly taken from Russian television broadcasts of the event. It claims this shows a high-speed projectile or craft intercepting the meteor from behind and piercing right through it. According to the source, this ultra-high-speed meteor was deliberately crushed, and its orbit was radically changed mid-air, thanks to advanced alien technology originating from that lunar base. The text insists they stepped in on a defense mission to save Earth from destruction. The text uses this incredibly vivid analogy for the interception, describing it as being shattered in an instant, like a sword's quick draw. I mean, think about it. The author points out that human technology literally cannot analyze, track, and shoot down an object moving at Mach 50 in a matter of seconds. So the text presents this immediate pulverization as absolute proof of a superior, non-human intelligence acting rapidly and decisively to neutralize the threat.
Section 3. The Planetary Federation's Intervention. So, who exactly is supposedly doing the intercepting? The source material doesn't just say aliens did it and leave it there. It attributes this life-saving intervention to a specific group it calls the Planetary Federation or Space Alliance. Operating out of bases like the one in the Tsiolkovsky Crater, the text claims they act as a cosmic deterrent. They don't stop every single space babble, but they deflect massive, life-threatening meteors to ensure humanity actually has the chance to survive and evolve. They are essentially our guardians working in the shadows, which is certainly a comforting thought.
It is a breathtaking narrative, isn't it? The source text takes a real-world event, the Chelyabinsk meteor, and weaves it into this massive cosmic story of spiritual projection, hidden lunar bases, and a highly advanced federation protecting us from the void of space. Whether you view this text as a literal truth, a fascinating piece of modern mythology, or just an elaborate thought experiment, it really forces us to look up at the night sky and ask, are we truly alone in the universe, or is a cosmic federation quietly watching over us from the dark side of the moon? That's the incredible question this source leaves us with. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, focused learners. Keep asking questions.